This is Josiah Plays Dungeons and Dragons. This is the Shattered Crown campaign with our DM Scito. It's a Dark Sun 5th edition D&D campaign. With me are my fellow players Tim and Knox.
All right, let us begin on what should be, barring someone getting lost in like an outhouse in Sind or some event like that again, which I'm sure you'll all recount fondly one day. But for now,
I don't know if fondly is the word.
True.
Sinclair especially, I imagine, is going to have great memories about Sin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you guys have just had what has probably been the best meal you've had in months. Despite the crowded conditions and everything, at the Golden Enix Inn. And now you're on Caravan Way. Where do you want to go now?
Given that place a good TripAdvisor review. I don't know. Jomo just looks at the others. What now?
Well, if we head up Caravan's Way, we head up to get to Iron Square, which is where there's a lot of the merchant guilds and such. They have all of their emporiums, but I think the Wanderer, the Athos Revealed, is pretty close to here. If we go down, I think it's that street right there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's where the maps were, supposedly, yes?
Yeah, that's where the proprietor of the Wanderer's Chronicle said that there'd be maps and such.
Yeah, since we're here, let's check that out.
All right, so you want to head to Athos Revealed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So you move across the street, which is beginning to fill up with the trundling of wagons and the stepping of feet of people making their way to and fro. Again, there's still the odd Templar with someone in tow going by, presumably people from yesterday's demonstrations, per se, or funeral, or whatever the hell you want to call that. And you enter into the Noble District. Now, the change in atmosphere is almost immediate. One thing you notice as well is that the town guard is suddenly, the ones that you recognize are suddenly replaced by men in elaborate scarlet armor, who seem to be stationed here and here alone. As you continue in further, you eventually come by a small shop, which, although Jomo can't read it, has the words Athos Revealed over the picture of a book being opened up.
Ah, here it is. Athos Revealed. Yeah, I figured it was just a short walk down this street.
So, I'm assuming you want to go inside?
Yeah.
Okay. You enter inside the shop, and it's not terribly busy. A man with a pair of spectacles sort of looks up at you. Ah, hello. Welcome to Athos Revealed. How may I assist you?
We'd like to take a look over your map section if you'd be so inclined.
Of course. We have maps, travel guides to various parts of the city. Here, take a look.
Ooh.
So yeah, he shows you this. There's a section of books which appears to be essentially guidebooks to various regions, as well as the city-states, plus maps of every single one of the city-states.
I like your little subtitle.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
it kind of does sound like it's some sort of brothel or something.
I actually wasn't thinking of that at all, but I suppose that could be scandalous.
Back at Thassop.
No.
Oh, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all.
So I assume these guidebooks, would they lend themselves to something like bonuses to survival checks or some if we have
They
to,
have, that's one of the things. Another thing they will do is they'll basically mark a whole bunch of locations on your map,
oh, okay.
as well as give you some additional info. I'm actually still, that was one thing I'm still finishing up some of the profiles, and of course each profile has several tiers as you gain more and more information about an area, but these will give you a basic overview of them. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits to the guidebook. Yes, several tiers, Knox.
Interesting. We have no idea where we're going to be going.
I'm guessing the walking, the section, those 4 books on the bottom, have things like potential best places for water sources and that kind of thing.
Yeah, basically they're overviews of, instead of focusing on the sea states, they focus on regions of the tier region.
They're like Rick Steves books.
Yeah.
Rick Steves books are actually pretty amazing. I recommend if you're going to travel to another country to get the Rick Steves book for that country. Or city.
What's a Rick Steve?
Rick Steves is a guy. He's kind of a famous travel guide kind of guy that's written about 1 million books about everywhere in the world, basically.
So basically, he's like the Kevin Simbada of travel guides.
Yeah. Jomo says, I want map of Golg.
Of course, no issues there. That'll be 5 enamel pieces. Can I interest you in the guide to go? You actually, if you don't mind my imposition, it does sound like you have a Golgan accent.
Jomo was born in Golg, yes. Just want a map for I don't know.
That's
Sentimental.
5 enamel pieces then.
Alright, I'll pay him.
All right, and you unlock the map of gold. Let me grab that. It'll also, this also, if you ever travel to gold, will now also give you a big version of it, which will be marked up with various locations as you find and that sort of thing, if you ever
Sweet.
go there.
You said it was 5 EP, right? Yeah, 5
Yep.
EP. Cool. I mean, Jomo will just kind of browse the other maps curiously. He likes looking at maps.
Okay.
But I don't think he's interested in buying any other maps right now.
Is it just maps in this shop?
No, as I said, these travel guides here, they can provide you much info about the city-states. Or, of course, you could buy these guides to the various regions. None of you sound native to Tyr. If I might make a recommendation, a traveler's guide to Tyr would be quite enlightening.
Yeah, I'll take a traveler's guide to Tyr.
Okay. That'll be 10 EP.
Done.
Okay. Well, now I have to mark a whole shit ton of things on your maps for you. So,
That sounds like a purchase that wouldn't really steer you wrong.
while you guys are
Won't be shedding any tears over that purchase.
Nice.
You guys.
Now we will have a good understanding of what lies in the interior of the city.
Jesus Christ.
Is there also a handout like version, like as a text for the traveler's guides, or is it?
I'm still working on those. There'll be some
Okay.
later. I'm sorry, I didn't get that finished by now. There's a whole shit ton of stuff here.
You know what? You should be sorry. I'm completely disappointed at the utter lack of original content for this campaign. It had to be said.
I tried my best, you guys. And note, of course, that this does not represent everything necessarily on the map, but it does represent areas that would be marked in travel guide. So now you've also unlocked the ability to fast travel. Congratulations.
Yay!
Not really, but that's when you get teleport circle. Teleport circle is basically fast travel.
That's true. Or if we find any portals to the secret cat level.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah,
Doesn't there have to be a teleport circle already at the place you want to go to?
there does, but you can make your own teleport circle.
We were actually talking about teleportation, what, about a week ago or something like that? It's pretty interesting that you can actually teleport to a place via an item that you took from the, or that originally came from the place, as long as it's been within 6 months.
And it's been there for enough time that it sort of got soaked in the area.
Yeah.
There's a place apparently selling colors and scents.
Yep. Oh boy, this is gonna take a while.
Ooh, the rat's nest.
Oh god, here we go. So much painting. Hey, you might be able to sell your paintings there.
That's very true.
A place where they would actually be on brand.
Okay, you don't get to get mad at a pun ever again, Scito.
Why?
With your hungry
That's
halfling.
an actual pre-existing place. I didn't make that up.
hungry
That is
halfling.
actual pre-existing.
Nice.
I wish I had made it up, but no, that is actually in the goddamn in the City of Tyr book. It is in there.
Wasn't that the one that you were reading that you said was half puns anyway?
Oh no, that was a module book that I was reading. Okay. And now I have to go back over here. Oh boy.
Well, now, if we had the text of the book, we would know what all these things were, right? Like, the actual book would tell us a little synopsis of each of these places, is that correct?
Yes.
So we can just ask you what they are, and you'll tell us something about them.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
As we completely sideline Scito's plans for a quick session and demand that he go through each and every one of them right now.
Pretty much.
I can do it. I could do it. Don't worry about that.
I mean, I just ate, so I got plenty of question-asking energy. Holy shit, look at all these bureaus over here.
I know, right?
Well, there's the government. Hey, are all these gardens over here kind of dying out now? Because it was kind of my understanding that the only reason these gardens stayed alive is because of the Sorcerer King's magic or something.
No, they're kept using the city's water supplies.
Okay.
I'm surprised no one came by and tried to defile it yet.
Well, that may be part of the reason why those gardens were there in the first place. You'll find that a lot of Sorcerer Kings, for some reason, have gardens near their places. All right, that's obviously not all of the places on the map, but that is all that are unlocked by that book you just purchased. So there you go.
It's a lot
Now
of things.
you have a good idea of what's in tier.
School of Thought?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like a psionics academy or something. Maybe. Door of Drakes? The fuck is that?
Would you actually like to know a bit about that?
Well, Jomo can't read.
Well, the good news is, Josiah, if you look back at the Wanderer's Chronicle, he did get a book in to read and write, literacy and common.
Wait, what?
There's a book there that to help.
How the
teach you.
fuck are you supposed to learn to read from a book if you don't know how to read?
I imagine it's a teaching aid.
I mean, somebody would have to actually help you learn to read.
It's probably this book that just automatically casts comprehend languages on you.
It also has pictures in it.
Oh, that's good. Pictures.
K is for Kank.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. Astonishingly, Bard's Quarter, not the spooniest place in the city. Because the stage and bards, they don't put up with any of that bullshit. Or at least a lot of them do.
Wow, the Wanderer's Chronicle has a shitload of books.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna need to be here for a while just so we can afford all the books I want to buy.
And I imagine the Colors and Scents Emporium is where you can like dye your armor and customize it that way and put trim on it and that kind of thing.
That's one of the things, yeah. It's actually, for you, Nox, it's be a good, like, buying dyes and whatnot. That'd probably be a good place for you for paints.
That's true.
Anyways, so, yep, as I said, there you go. There is... Oh, wait, I missed one. There we go. And let me just make sure none of these other ones are ones that should have been unlocked.
I'm overwhelmed by all of these. The Red Kank in the Elven Market is an important place in the novels.
Well, it's technically in Shadow Square, which is by the Elven Market.
Right.
So yeah, now you can go to the Red Kank if you so chose. Or Nox could drag you to a certain place that's right nearby, which, you know, he's going to take you to at some point. In case you're wondering, the Red Kank and the Rat's Nest are both their sort of tavern/caravanserai. They're essentially inns, or taverns, I should say.
Okay. I figured that was probably the case.
So many places. Jomo not know what any of them are.
Yeah, well, it is a city after all. There's I mean, there's whole quarters that just, that this, I don't think even covers, just glancing through the book.
It pisses me off that there's a Templar's quarter and a Templar's district.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Templar's quarter is definitely not a quarter of the city.
And, of course, here's the thing. As you might imagine, I'm going to say this right now. I've actually already told you before, you will get the chance to go to all the cities, and they are also done up like this. Now, Tyr is by far the city that had the most information about it. But the other cities also a fair amount. Like Balak, for example, right there is the Kovarian estate.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice place to go.
And yes, I will get a handout ready for basically, or I can just, if you guys ask about a place, I can tell you what is, I can tell you about it.
The Hall of Light?
Yes. It's run by a fire cleric who specializes in making candles and other light-bearing things.
That sounds cool.
He probably has some magic light buttons there.
Probably doesn't. Probably no one ever does, because that's a Noxism right there. It's something that you birthed into this world.
Well, as a fire cleric, I can cast Continual Flame, which makes a permanent flaming, glowing item, but it costs, like, a lot of money.
Yeah.
To do it. So I can make the equivalent of light buttons that last forever, but it's really expensive.
Well, Doreen must have been a very well-off fire cleric.
Very.
Okay, so where do you guys want to go now?
Now we're paralyzed by too much choice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the major spots that if just my tip would be, if you want to go anywhere else, I mean, you could go to the apothecary or whatnot, but I'd recommend probably Iron Square, because that's where you're going to be able to get the most goods. And again, the owner, who by the way his name is Tan Alzared, he recommended House Wavir's Emporium.
Which house were you associated with, Nox?
What beer?
Oh, perfect.
Though he's not a member of the house, that's an important distinction, though. Some of his family are, though. His mother and father, for example.
Where did we sell our stuff?
You sold it at the Tarnished Cup.
I don't even see that anymore.
That's toward the southern part, over like south of the Ziggurat-ish.
It's in the Smiths district.
Yeah. There's a Tarnished Cup, Vent's Place, Brick Barrow.
Oh, it's way over there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Jomo still not know where to go. Just lead the way.
Well, we could always do some more shopping in and around these, the various shops here. Or we could just head straight for Iron Square. That's got probably the biggest shop emporiums around. There's all the house emporiums there.
Okay, let's go there.
Yeah. What did you say this guy's name was, Scito?
The guy who owns this shop, or the guy who owned the bookstore? Because I haven't given the name for the Athens Reveal guy, but the guy.
I thought you had. Okay.
Han Alsred. THA, I'll type it. What I love, the Shining Sands, is a literal laundry. It's literally a laundry place.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's head to the Iron Square then.
Good, I haven't been there in, well, a couple months now at least. Well, whoever knows how long this has been out here, but... And Corin will head back toward Caravan's Way and start marching up toward the Caravan's Way toward Iron Square.
All right. And you do so, and just so you guys aren't paralyzed with choice, I'll just for now switch it to the market thing.
Nice. It's Jello time, motherfuckers.
Okay. So you head up to Iron Square, and it is an absolute bustle of activity in every which direction. There's people everywhere, buying, selling. You can see all the emporiums for all of the major houses here.
Is this the typical level of busyness?
You would say this is actually subdued relative to what it's
Wow.
normally like. It's normally even more crowded than this.
Okay.
And of course, Corwin, you know the way quite well to House Wavir. There's Emporium.
Yeah, Corin would just be making a beeline for it.
All right. You do so, and you enter into the Emporium, and it is a very well-appointed place. It's nothing extraordinarily decadent or whatnot. Like, you've been inside the House Sham Emporium tonight, so that place is ridiculous in terms of how much decadence is going on in there. They are down with decadence.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of shamanship there.
oh, not. But House Wavir's, it's very pleasant looking, and it's everything is kept in good shape. Shopkeeper in the back sort of wanders over to you. There's multiple shopkeepers here, keeping track of everyone. You can see that there's some people who are part of caravans, other people who are making large buying and selling for shipments. Hello. Can I help you?
Do I recognize any of the shopkeepers?
You recognize a couple of them. Not all of them, though, and that's not surprising. Again, fairly high turnover in terms of people who come and go from these places.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
You do not you can't see Belana, who is the head of House Wavir, this branch of House Wavir here right now.
Right.
Yes, can I help you? Can I help you?
Yeah, we came from the desert a couple days back, and, well, I used to, help with this, the shop and such. Figured I'd, take my friends here, possibly make some purchases, and, that sort of thing.
Help in the shop? Are you a member of House Wavir?
No, not quite as such, but I've got a fair amount of family that are.
Who's that?
Well, there's my Uncle Gerard, of course, that runs the caravan and such, and well, both my parents are.
Gerard Covarian?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, well, he was here just a week ago. Shame you missed him.
Corin will grimace a bit at that information. Well, nice to know that he was around recently, though. I'm definitely hoping to catch up with him.
Yeah, yes, I apologize, but of course, here, let me show you to our catalog. And this is the catalog. Now, the standard thing means that basically look under the general price guide, and pretty much anything that's listed there under standard you can buy here. But there's also trade goods, which they sell here.
Songbirds.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just basically go into the general price guide, and anything that's on there, you can pretty much buy. I mean, House Wavir is nice in that you can pretty much buy everything except arcane spellcasting equipment.
Yeah, hopefully they'll
Connector
branch
seems
into
really
that one of
cheap.
these days.
What'd you say, Josiah?
I said can connector seems really cheap.
It is.
I'm guessing
Does
Kank
Tyr have a shitload of kanks or something?
This is actually, Corwin, you would know this because now this is in your element. This is actually double the normal price for Kank Nectar. Kank Nectar is a very cheap commodity. It's basically second only to water in terms of just as a trade good in terms of the cheapness per pound. In fact, uh, even though Tyr is renowned for having a huge number of Broy distilleries, its Kank Nectar supplies are always in need, which is why Kank Nectar is especially in demand in the city.
Can I get 2 very large water skins?
Of course you can. So that will be... Yes. So that'll be 4 enamel pieces. Each weighs 8 pounds, and if, as per the additional supplies handout, that can hold 40 pounds of water. Now, so, I mean, that kind of raises the question, do you want to be hauling around a total of, 48 pounds of water each here?
No,
I kind of think we're planning to get an animal, right?
yeah.
Okay. Yep, you can buy that. Each one's 8 pounds. So yeah, 4 enamel pieces.
And I assume they don't sell water here.
Not in this shop, no. There
Is
is
there some central location in the city to go buy water?
there's a couple of locations. There is a dispensary here in Iron Square. It's run by House Vordon, unsurprisingly, as well as one for a singular dispensary for each of the major districts. So yeah, there's several places that you can go to grab some water.
Alright, so they have all the normal gear that's on all the other handouts, basically.
Yeah.
Alright, now I gotta look at all those. I mean... Jomo is gonna ask, Corwin, you got any idea if any of these trade goods really cheap here compared to how much they sell somewhere else?
Corbin, if you want to try and answer that, that will be a history check.
All right.
You're not quite sure. Normally, you have a good mind for this sort of thing, but right now you're just a little bit. You're still getting back into things. You know, you just had a nice meal and whatnot. So you're not quite certain. The one thing though that you do know is that chances are the place where you can, if you're in a city, the place where you're going to generally get the cheapest trade goods are going to be the city's whichever houses are headquartered in that city. By sheer virtue of they'll typically be the ones who have access to what the city has a surplus of.
Okay, that would make sense.
But in terms of you don't have specific prices, no.
Well, Corwin will look between Jomo and the shopkeeper and go, well, of course, Wavir has excellent prices, as you can, obviously see here. I mean, if you mean like in a more broader sense, with the other houses and such, it kind of depends on, which one is in power in the city and, that sort of stuff, who's got a surplus and, all of that economics and logistics and all that kind of stuff.
That was a really long way of saying you don't know.
And before you guys ask, yes, I do have a chart that keeps track, and it will change of what's in surplus, what's in demand, and what conditions are for each city.
That's crazy.
Well, hey, before you say it's crazy, they literally created an entire book for that back in 2E, so I don't think it's that crazy to have done this.
Oh, is it that Dune Trader book? Did they have that kind of stuff in there?
They literally made a whole book. Now, of course, I've updated things since then. But yeah, that was one of the major things. They had stuff about what was in supply and demand for each area.
Oh yeah, that's right. They actually released Trader as a class.
Yes.
Right? So that you could actually, if you could just play a merchant as your actual character class.
You sure could. And have the worst adventures ever.
I don't know anybody that ever did, but yeah. It's a cool concept anyway.
They're actually selling silver and tin.
Yes, they are selling silver and tin. Balak, is one of the largest. In fact, now, thanks to the gold supplies it gets in, it's now one of the largest suppliers of precious metals in all of the tier region. But as you can see, the price of them is not cheap.
Yeah, that's very true.
But it would probably save you on weight if you had 1,250 enamel pieces.
Of course, then you'd have to hope that you can then exchange it for an equal amount. Plus, again, another thing to keep in mind is that these are the prices that they sell them at. It may not be the prices of their base price. Lots of things that can be done here. There is indeed quite a bit that you can do here, and eventually it'll probably not be a bad idea to start keeping in mind of what things are in demand in what cities if you ever start traveling around, because that's just an easy way to make money.
Well, that's why I was asking him if we could figure out,
Yeah. Unfortunately, Corwin doesn't really have anything to help you with that at the moment.
And the merchants aren't going to tell us, because then we would be their competition, basically, right?
Yeah, they're not going to give you any of that. This is a case where if Corwin was a member of House Wavir, then he could probably get a lot of information pretty easily, but...
Let's do a quick edit on your background, Corwin.
Nice. I feel like Corwin would be too much of a black sheep, at least at this point in his life, to really be a member as such.
Lifelong member of House Wavir actually saved the life of Bob Wavir.
Yes, Bob Wavir. That well-known member.
The well-known founder of House Wavir.
Indeed, indeed.
Alright, I want to buy 2 blankets.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Well, prices are there, so for 2 blankets, that's going to be running you at 1 enamel piece in total.
Alright, I might buy some other stuff too. It's just, that's as far as I got.
Yeah, I've lost my list of stuff we were supposed to buy.
Well,
I think we picked up
tent.
most of it.
You want tents, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking at
I
here.
think we want to get a large tent, right? Because it's more sturdy than smaller ones.
Yeah, that is indeed the
How many
case.
people sleeps the large tent?
4.
See, so then we'd have extra room in there also.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's get a large tent.
Okay. That's another 5 enamel pieces, although note it does weigh 35 pounds, so...
Yeah, I'll buy it if someone else will carry it.
Jomo, you are indeed the one who would be most able to carry it. You do have the highest strength of the group.
Yeah, I can carry it. I'll be a little overburdened until such time as we can.
It's not such a big deal when you're in the city as well. I mean, you could try and trade things out. I mean, I'm sure someone would be willing to carry some of your stuff then.
Yeah, I've got some encumbrance to spare, but I just don't have that much.
Alright, well, you can carry some of this extra water I'm carrying, and I'll carry the tent for now.
Alright.
Like,
Fun trade between friends.
yes, it's fun trade between friends. I need to figure out how what some of the other stuff I'm carrying weighs anyway. Like, I don't even have weights for all the more recent things I've acquired.
Okay, let me take a look here. Because I actually did go and assign weights. So, okay, the sacks and the pouches, for example, those should actually have weights already. The sack should be...
Are you gonna buy a crowbar? Did you buy a crowbar yet?
Yep, you guys brought a crowbar. So the sack is half a pound. A pouch is a pound.
The cork on a
bottle
fork is my
is-
bottle, yeah.
I believe that's a pound, but let me just double check. Or is it 2 pounds?
1 pound bottle? What the fuck? An empty bottle that weighs a pound?
It's 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds.
How huge is this bottle?
It can hold 1.5 pints of liquid.
Alright, it must be extremely thick glass.
Yeah,
I expect
probably.
this thing not to break easily if it weighs 2 pounds.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. It's not going to break super easily.
You know, with my
How much does a
cork,
longbow weigh?
That one should just be... And a longbow weighs... Well, it's not put there, so I'll just run to the... Well, I could actually just check the weapons handout.
Is there anything else we need? Looking at this list? The general price guide is what I'm looking at. Has a very long list of things.
And now, again, this is part of the reason why I created that intercession thing, so that in the future, we don't need to go through all these things. A longbow is 2 pounds.
And arrows are like 1/10 of a pound each or something.
Yeah, let me just double check on what the...
1/20 of a pound each.
Yeah. Plus, there's also, I imagine you picked up one of their quivers.
Oh yeah, the arrows had to be in a quiver, right?
Unless you're just like carrying them in your pocket. I mean,
What's the quiver weigh?
if you did that, you might end up stabbing a god or something.
Might end up doing what?
Stabbing a god or something if you were just carrying around arrows willy-nilly like that.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Especially mistletoe arrows.
Oh, I do get it
God's
now.
memory is a magical thing to behold. Don't ever change, Josiah. Don't ever change.
Oh, I'm just gonna get worse and worse.
Alright, a quiver is 1 pound.
Jesus. Jesus, everything's so heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when I add the large tent on here, I'm gonna be in fucking Agony City.
Oh, Nox.
Because it's 35 pounds. So now I'm at 190. I am now over carrying capacity. My carrying capacity is 180.
You need to drop 10 pounds and you'll be back under...
Can we split up the tent, Scito?
No, unfortunately you can't. It's a tent. It's kind of hard to split that up.
Well, I just know, like, when I go backpacking and it's with a group of friends, somebody carries the poles,
You could
somebody
remove
carries
the pitons and whatnot, but even then, most of the weight is coming from the main structure of the thing, so that you can't really split up.
Okay.
It's fine. We're gonna buy an animal. So this is just temporary. I'm gonna give. How much does a large water skin hold again?
40 pounds.
One large water skin.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was the very large water skin was 40
Or,
pounds.
yeah, sorry, the very large water skin holds 40 pounds. The large water skin holds 12 pounds, I believe.
All right, perfect. I'm just gonna give one of my large water skins full of water to you for now. What?
Broy mixed water, remember, because
Yeah, it's half broy, half water.
So that's what, 8 more pounds, you said?
It's 12 more pounds of water plus 3 pounds for the water skin, so that's 15 more pounds for you.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm right at that.
Yeah, I'm only 5 pounds under my limit now.
In fact, I need to drink some of this water.
okay, well, remember, if you want to drink, because it's been mixed with broy, you're going to have to consume 5 pounds of it to achieve the effects of a full day's hydration. So you can do that, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so you should be down to 15 pounds.
Yeah, I'm now 0.34, so roughly a third of a pound from encumbrance.
Excellent. That's a great... As someone who collects literally everything in video games, let me tell you, that's a familiar state for me.
Yeah, I'm like that. I want to install the game mod that lets us ignore the inventory limits.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't. Unfortunately you can't.
Is there anything else you guys see on this list that you think we need to get?
Corin would probably buy some rations here.
Okay.
Oh, rations are a good idea. How much are rations? I don't even see rations.
Rations are under food and drink.
Oh, I see.
So that's 5 slate pieces for each ration. Each one is 2 pounds. Oh, and actually, you know what? I'm going to say that you could buy some water from here. I'll say they'll keep a stock of water here that you could buy from. But again, you're probably not needing to add more weight right now.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of water now between us, I think. Especially considering we're in the city.
Okay, Corin will go ahead and buy 8 rations, and I've taken money off for that.
Okay.
Is the alchemical oil the same as the oil in the flask?
No. Alchemical oil is it's basically Greek fire sort of thing. But it's used specially for particular treatments. So it's more useful if you were doing experiments or something like that with alchemy rather than as a weapon. But you could use it as one. It's really, really reactive.
I bought 1 day's rations.
That Diablo music, though.
True.
I'm gonna buy 10 arrows also, because I only had 10 in my quiver, and the quiver holds 20, so I'll buy 10 more.
Okay. So in that case, that will be half of 5 slate pieces.
Okay.
Corin will buy a couple flasks of regular oil to replace those that were used in Raha.
Did you use oil in Raha? Oh, right, you did. To burn down the place. So, okay,
Yes.
go ahead. 1 slate piece each.
Okay, yeah, I took those off already and just added the oil.
Okay. Is there anything else you want here? You could get a portable ram if you wanted.
I don't think so.
Could you use that to ram the blockade?
You could use it to ram the blockade. Unfortunately, it wouldn't stop the hail of arrows and or defiling magic that would then be thrown your way.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too good.
Yeah.
Jomo think we should buy animal and wagon, small wagon, but we can't get those here.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily have the money for that yet, but that's definitely something we need before we head back out.
You should have the money for it, though. It's, let's go on down to the mounts handout. So you could definitely buy an Erdlu if you want to. That's only 75 enamel pieces. A Crodlu is only 225 enamel pieces.
How many EP does everybody have?
112.
120.
117.
So yeah, you could definitely buy a Crodlu if you still want to, or multiple Erdlus.
359, I think we've got between us.
Yep.
How much is a wagon? A small wagon, whatever the smallest one is.
That would be the 1,000-pound wagon, and that's underneath mount equipment too. And the smallest wagon is, do you want open or closed?
Oh, I think closed would be better.
Okay, well, closed, as a note, though, that does add on to the weight of it. So it means that there's less that your mount can pull. But a closed one is 30 enamel pieces. But
30, and it can carry 400 pounds of stuff.
No, it can carry 1,000 pounds of stuff. It weighs 400 pounds.
Okay, and how much can the Crodlu carry?
It can pull about 950 pounds plus another 300 or something in terms of what it can carry. 380, yeah.
Oh, so it could carry that weight and pull that weight at the same time?
It can do that.
It's a badass.
Now, where are the rules? Because I know they're in here somewhere. About like food and water that these things consume.
That is under mounted travel. Specifically riding equipment and also mount equipment will also have stuff about that as well. Feed in particular is what you'd be looking for.
So did they just assume that the animals kind of take care of their own water?
The feed includes the water.
Okay.
And in terms of how, you'll note that I gave it by day, but really, as long as you're feeding them like once a week, because of their nature, Thasian animals are typically pretty hardy and they can go a long time. So you can go just feed them a week at a time and they'd be fine. Kanks in particular are well known for being able to go for a long time without getting food or water.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't afford a kank. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, all these handouts is tough because you're only allowed to have one of them open at once, and then I gotta remember which one I wanted to go
Well, you
back
can drag
to.
one off to the side and then you can have both open.
Oh, I see. You actually can do that.
I
Nice.
think if you just double click on them, you can just get more than one open.
Yeah, so if we bought a Crodlu in an enclosed wagon, that would only cost us 255. We'd still have over 100 EP left over. Oh, of course, then we'd have to buy however much.
Feed.
Where does this talk about feed?
Under mount equipment, it gives the amounts that each will consume. So a Crodlu will consume about 70 pounds of feed a week. But thankfully, feed is not that expensive.
Yeah, you can get the top tier stuff at a slate for 10 pounds.
What do the different tiers of feed do?
As it says here, poor feed, you have to feed them twice as much of it to achieve the same quality. Plus, it can get them sick. whereas high quality feed provides twice as much, so you only need to feed them half as much of it. Plus, also high quality feed that might give them a certain boost in handling.
That's nice.
Yeah, you should always be using high quality feed because it costs
Sure.
the same and you get the boost.
It doesn't cost the same, does it?
Well, you only have to feed them half as much, and it costs twice as much as simple feed.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. All right. So,
Oh, actually, that is a mistake. Sorry, you're right. That is a mistake I made. That is actually supposed to be 2 SP per 10 pounds.
that's still pretty cheap if you only have to feed it half as much.
This game hasn't been nearly as fun since they patched quality feed.
Fucking quality feed nerf. GG, Blizz.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All of this is just to drive microtransactions. They just want you to buy feed in their special in-game store.
Unfortunately, you can't yet get a Howdah. It's there.
They want you to spend $25 real money to get the animals that don't require feed.
Well, technically, there are spells that allow that. And Corwin will eventually have access to them.
Can you imagine if Scito friended everyone on Venmo and then just put up a list?
Don't worry, guys. Once we get to the point where I can cast Raise Dead, we never need to buy feed again. We just run the animal to death and I'll raise it.
Great.
Doesn't Raise Dead cost money to cast, though?
Probably. I don't know.
Let's check under the arcane spell thing, which that one I have fixed in terms of its formatting, so it's not all just bunched together.
I don't think Raised Dead is arcane.
Shouldn't be.
Right. It's not arcane, it's an elemental.
Well, granted, it could be.
Oh yeah,
animated.
it costs a 500 EP diamond. Okay, that sucks.
Yeah. So it doesn't work quite as well, but as a note though, and this is something I've talked to Knox about because it will for him especially, but you can ask if you can modify spells, and I'll tell you if you can what might be required to modify it in a way and what it'll do. For example, you could say, I want to raise something from the dead, or I want to create an undead animal permanent rather than just have it raised for a while and then it dies at the end of its wait. And I'll tell you, A, if it's possible given your skill, and B, what might be required to do that.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Animate Dead doesn't have an actual money requirement.
I don't know that we would really be making the best impression on people if we're wandering around with an undead pack animal, though.
Yeah, probably would create a few issues.
Just a little bit.
Well, okay.
Well,
I guess
yeah,
we bought some things.
And if we do have the money to kind of get a cart and an animal and whatnot, then Sinclair will be pushing for that.
Yeah, you could, of course, get a cart, but of course, that wouldn't really, I'd recommend a wagon over a cart because A, greater stability, B, you can ride, there's a nice place for you to ride on a cart. The only time I would...
We get the enclosed wagon, it's actually mobile shelter.
It is indeed.
Sell the tent back.
Well,
Well,
we
there's
should still keep the tent,
places
though.
where you can't take the wagon.
Yeah. It's good to have some redundancy when it comes to these things as well. In case something gets destroyed.
Speaking of which, Nox, are you still carrying around that other component pouch?
Yes.
So, is Coleman just going to keep that to himself, or is he going to offer that to anyone? Because, again, you don't need 2 component pouches, or you could sell it. Although, selling it as a component pouch would probably be kind of tricky to do.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't have mentioned it much at all. I mean, unless someone were to specifically say, I could really use a component pouch.
Okay.
Then, that would come up, but otherwise, yeah.
And and as I said about the way that I'm going to handle component pouches, if a spell requires a particular material that costs money, if you have a component pouch, I'll let you spend the money at the time, and I'll act as if you bought it beforehand. Otherwise,
that's nice.
Yes. Otherwise, you will have to have it prepared beforehand. Now, of course, that won't work. That won't work for every single thing. Like if it's like for a magic jar or something like that, where it's some giant thing that wouldn't have fit in the component pouch, that wouldn't work. But if it says a diamond worth blank amount of money, and you want to cast a spell, then yeah, you can just spend the money at the time if you have the component pouch.
Is a component pouch tied to a specific class of magic?
No, you can. They can be used for multiple classes. In fact, you would say, based on the decorations, Corwin, you would say that you think that component pouch that you found actually belonged to a water cleric.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're done here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Then you're done in Iron Square. You head out. Do you want to visit any of the other emporiums, or do you want to go straight for a mount, or what do you want to do?
One thing before we leave, I think Corin would tell the merchant if he were to have seen Uncle Gerard later, to let him know that he was here at this particular time. And also possibly if he knew where he was headed.
Oh, he would have been headed to back to Balak, I imagine. So
I figured, okay. Just in case there was a different destination sometime, on occasion.
I imagine we won't be seeing him for at least another month, I'm afraid, so...
I figured as much, but thought it wouldn't hurt to ask.
No problem, no problem. I'll make sure that he knows.
My thanks.
Scito, do you have an image on your computer, which is the City of Tyr map with all those things marked on it?
No, I don't have that, because I made this in the Roll20 thing, but I...
Okay, I was just saying, because the handout isn't marked up with anything,
Yeah,
so if we look at the handout map, then we don't know what to do. Now, if you were to put up the map of Tyr into the scene alongside whatever else, then we could always kind of scroll over and look at it. That'd be cool too.
If you ever need to look at the map again, just ask and I'll put it back to the other thing. I'll put it back to this map, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to look at it.
Because if I made it all tiny, then it would kind of be very hard to read the map. Given,
That's true.
It was already pretty difficult squeezing these things in. Like, seriously, Shadow Square was a nightmare, and trying to get one of those goddamn things in.
I noticed that was particularly clustered.
So, what are we doing?
I think we should take a look at getting an animal and a wagon, and then maybe, I don't know, storing them and some stuff near the entrance to the caravan gate in case we need to make a speedy exit.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, yeah, maybe I could flip through the Traveler's Guide, but I assume there are shops or services at the caravan gate that would let you board your...
Yep, the messenger's mount, in addition to selling mounts and feed and everything, will also let you stable your mount there. So, as you begin to walk towards the caravan way, you begin hearing the sound of small feet running up to you.
Corbin would
Turned
instinctively kind of put a hand on his money pouch.
It's a mini zombie. Sacred Flame.
So, looking, you see it appears to be Corwin, you in particular recognize it right away, is the girl who was watching you before. Hey there! I got a message from you.
You have a message from us?
For you. Where though?
All right then.
It's from Ben. He says he's found some buyers. He also says they want to meet you at the Elven Bridge. Also, there's a letter from one.
Why the Elven Bridge? That doesn't sound like a safe place.
Says it's the best. That's where they want to meet up. Neutral ground or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, here's a note. 1 second here. Let me just get this out. To your surprise, she appears to be able to read. And she begins to do so. Dear adventurers, I am Garfael, a scholar. I heard that you managed to acquire an incredible document from Raha exonerating the Nee family and suggesting that the slaves were in fact the ones responsible for the uprising there. I would be very interested in purchasing it from you, and I would then proceed to transcribe and send out the unedited account to other scholars, as well as Senior Templar Astini, the head of Tyr's administrative department. I am offering 40 enamel pieces for the manuscript. If you are so interested, please leave it with the messenger.
Oh, I can already see how this is gonna go.
So that's there. The other two, they want to meet with you by the Elven Bridge at night, 6 o'clock.
So there's
Yes.
multiple offers?
There are multiple offers. Apparently, they were very interested in this revelation you got.
Based on that guidebook you read, is there a place where you can store things and they'll be kept safe in the city?
Yeah, we can store, looks like the wagon with our mount and everything there near the caravan gate.
Well,
And
you're currently your hypothetical wagon.
Right. No, yeah. So Sinclair will ask the messenger, when did they want to meet?
6 o'clock. That's what they says. Right at the Elven Bridge.
And what time is it now?
It is currently 2 o'clock.
This sounds like a trap.
Would
It's
Corbin
not a trap, I can assure you that. Master Ven takes great pains to ensure that his assets are well taken care of, I can assure you.
That Templar's name, would Corwin know of him?
I believe it's a she, and make a history check.
How do we know you even from Ven?
I recognize her. This was the girl that was following us yesterday.
Yeah, you're the one who did the weird thing in my head, aren't you? Don't do that. That's weird. You don't just go into other people's heads without their permission.
All right, so I'm going to focus on telepathic contact and then just tell her, sorry.
Okay, clearly you don't understand the point of consent here. Right, I'm leaving now. Unless, of course, you want to leave the book with me and accept this fellow's offer. Otherwise, you can put it at Ben's place, and I'm sure he'll get to the scholar.
No. We gotta talk to him ourselves, and we'll talk to the others as well, yes? I'll just look
Yeah.
at you guys.
Alright. So, Corwin, you do know of Estini, and Estini is what you might call very much a person of the old guard, even though Estini is very loyal to Tithian. You also know that Cassini is one of the Templars, like many of the Templars, who was not too happy with the decree that slavery was ended in Tyr.
Interesting.
And you've never heard of the Scholar, though. But again, it's not surprising. There's plenty of scholars who work with the Bureau of Administration. And since now we're getting back to locations, I'll put you back to the...
Well, then at that point, Scito, I will go ahead and flip through the Traveler's Guide to see if, like what Gemma was talking about, there is just a you store it or something around here.
Or like basically a bank.
There does appear to be a number of holding areas, but pretty much all of them expect you to have a certain amount of money. There's not really one that would cater to individuals such as yourselves, unless you had a lot of money that you had to hold, or you had property in the city. So the closest to that would probably be storing your goods with your mount, and that would be at the messenger's mount. Or at one of the similar places, such as the ones that are in the artisan district. But in terms of a bank or something, no, not really.
Would Corwin feel like he could possibly use his leverage a little bit to have it stored at the Wavir Emporium?
You could ask. You've just left you're still right at the end of Caravan Way, so you could go back into House Wavir Emporium and ask.
You know, if we do want to keep that book safe, I mean, I suppose I could try giving it to the people I know in the Wavir Emporium. I'm sure that some of them got to be able to just, hold it for us, just as long as they don't forget and then just happen to sell it off. But I wouldn't think that would be the case.
What if they read it and they decide to keep it themselves?
Plus, it also sounded like the people at the place that you're going to, they're expecting that if you're willing to sell it to them, that you provide it on. So, in other words, they're expecting you to bring it. But again, you can try doing whatever you want. But
yeah, if I was going to ambush some people, I'd expect them to bring it too.
But yeah, leaving it in a third party's hands does seem a bit of a risky proposition. But
how long would it take to copy the documents?
It would take a considerable amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an idea we should have thought of earlier. Could have been doing it while we were traveling.
You probably...
Yeah.
I mean, you'd first off... if you're trying to make a forgery of it, that would take even longer.
I was thinking just in terms of like a copy of it or that kind of thing, but even still, like, I don't think any of us had a blank book with us or anything like that.
You could buy a blank book at House Wavir.
True. I mean, like, with our time in the desert, we really wouldn't have had the supplies for that.
True. You guys want to go to this trap or what?
Well, we have 4 hours. It's probably enough time to find a mount and a wagon and store whatever we want.
I mean, you could also try and go to a storehouse, but typically they're only interested in long-term storage, and it would cost money again to store with them. So yeah probably...
We should just keep it, I guess.
You could just go to the messenger's mount and just get a mount and something, but of course, then that raises the question if there's even mounts available. If it's anything like the past cities, there hasn't been a surplus of mounts for sale.
True.
But won't know until you try.
There did seem to be mounts over at the Beasts Market.
Yeah? So there might... But again, those are typically more for the arena and whatnot. So, but
Right.
You're right. Did appear to be beasts there. So there's Again, just try. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys have full memory of everything that's been happening so far. So...
Is the Kankan cart the place we're staying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, The lovely place.
With
The
the hole in the
best place.
roof.
Well, you've now nicely put a blanket over it, so there's that.
True.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Well, yeah, we've got 4 hours, which is a long time to wait, but not enough time to do anything meaningful that I was thinking of.
I mean, if you want to go deal with the messengers mount and whatnot, it probably now would be the time to do so before it starts getting too late, because you still need to think about getting to the Elven Bridge and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, we could at least go check the messenger's mount to see what they got for sale.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. You head down Caravan Way. Again, hustle and bustle of the city still in full swing, though Corwin not as much as you've seen it in some days. And you eventually reach the caravan gate and turn off to the side, going down a path that you are very familiar with, since this is the exact same route you took when you first got into the city to try and avoid the massive crowds. And you are outside the messenger's mount. Inside, you can hear a cacophony of various animals squawking and growling and barking and doing all such things.
All right, let's head into this cacophony.
Okay. So, you head inside, and inside you see a number of animals that are already stabled up. I mean, you could see some that were stabled outside as well. And a man who looks relatively... Sorry, one sec. I just need to grab one thing. A man who looks to be a middle-aged man sort of wanders up to you. Hello. Can I help you?
Yeah, hello. We're interested in any mounts you may have for sale, along with wagons. And
We do not sell wagons here, I'm afraid. All of our wagons are currently out of stock. In terms of mounts, we do have one Crodlu, but she is poorly, I'm afraid. I do not believe that she is long for this world.
She is what?
Poorly. Ill.
I know a thing or two about the healing arts, if you would let me examine her.
I suppose there is no harm. However, well, you know what? I have a good feeling about this. Certainly. You may come and take a look at her. And he escorts you over to this Crawler, which is lying on its side, and it's not looking great. It's just sort of squawking. It sort of sounds like a Skeksis at this point.
Alright, the first thing I want to do is use animal handling to just assess the quality of this animal in general. And also, while I'm doing that, kind of just calm the animal down and get it used to me.
Oh, shit. Tim's already pulling out the...
What is that?
That is from his Mystic thing.
Ooh, nice.
yeah, I just want to assist him if I can with that, so he can get it.
Well, you could... You don't even need assistance now. Now you could just do this if you so want to.
I have an advantage on animal handling also.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. All right.
Well,
You
let's
do?
just both try it, and then if one of us
Wait,
does really good...
You have advantage on animal handling? How do you
all
have
the
that?
time, because I'm a half-elf. Half-elves just get advantage on animal handling all the
Oh.
time.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to give myself guidance. Here we
Okay.
go, +1. Ooh.
Oh, now that you're saying it, it's not doing it anymore.
Exactly. 2 is the new critical one.
So I got a 23.
All right, you're able to assess that this animal appears to have eaten something which has poisoned it, essentially. Your guess is that some poor feed or something, there was likely maybe some sort of poisonous insect or something in its feed. And you believe it is treatable, yes.
I mean, does it seem like a good animal aside from the fact that it's poisoned?
I mean, you have to wait until it fully recovered, but as far as you can tell, it looks like, I mean, this was a relatively acute issue, but yeah, you'd say it looks like it's a pretty hardy animal. In terms of its age, you would say once. I just need to make sure I'm not getting the wrong ages for things. Yeah, you'd say that this is probably about 5 years old, so it's not that old of a mount either.
How long did Crodloos live?
Crodloos live 25 plus.
Oh, wow.
25 plus 1d 15 years, and I will do the roll in secret. Well, actually, no. You know what? You will be able to tell with your roll how long this thing will live. Okay, so it's going to live about 27 years. That's your guess.
I would say if it's gonna live 20 more years, I think that's a reasonable purchase.
That's right.
If I can cure it, so I'm gonna try. Now I have medicine, and I also have proficiency with herbalism kit.
Okay.
So can I use my herbalism kit to improve my medicine roll or something?
Don't you also have proficiency in healer's kit?
No. That's not a proficiency normally, because I do have a healer's kit though.
I thought I gave you. One second. Let me just check the. I thought I gave you that. Because I actually was going to allow you proficiency in healer's kit. Let me just double check the.
Because the healer's kit in there is not actually listed as a tool. It's its own separate thing, even though it's called a kit. I don't know. It's weird how they did it.
Yeah, I'm allowing it to be used as a tool. I'm gonna say that right now. I allow it to be used as a tool. So that's something. Let me just. I have. Where did I put it? Notes. Oh no, you do not actually have proficiency in healer's kit. So no, you wouldn't get a bonus for that. Sorry.
Yeah, but I want to use my herbalism kit and my medicine skill to and I want to see if I can get Sinclair to help me, or whoever is good at medicine besides me.
I don't have proficiency in it, but I've got a high base wisdom.
Without proficiency, you can't assist and give the advantage thing to. You could try and help out. Does anyone have proficiency in medicine?
No.
Or let me just make sure what the rules are. Again, this is where using ability scores. Ability checks. Skills. Contests. Various skills. Group checks. Passive checks. Working together. Okay, yeah, you need proficiency if you want to assist. Okay, so what do you want to do? Why? Oh yeah.
Should I roll medicine first or herbalism kit first?
So no one's going to be able to assist him?
No.
Okay. Roll. Let's roll the herbalism first, see if you're able to do anything with that.
Alright, I will guide myself.
Okay.
Yay, good guidance that time. That's not great. What's a 15 with the guidance?
Or you could use your inspiration. You have a ton of it.
Alright, I'll use inspiration.
Okay. Using some of the herbs there, you're able to you think that you can actually distill an antidote that should help deal with it quite ably. So now you make a medicine check, and that will be with advantage.
Alright, nice. Again, I'll guide myself. Ooh, guidance coming up strong.
Not questionable at all today. All right. Yeah. So you are able to distill an antidote that, using the wisdom that you've gained from your years living alone and tending to other animals, and you get the can to open its beaked mouth and pour down this antidote, and the can suddenly starts shuddering violently, almost like it's dying. You think, and the owner is kind of looking at you like, "Oh shit, you just bought yourself a dead kang." But then it starts calming down, and its breathing becomes nice and even.
Did you just say it was a kank?
I didn't mean kank, I meant a crawdloo.
Oh, okay.
And its breathing becomes nice and even. And the guy is looking at you and he says, "Well, that is the most comfortable I've seen it in quite some time. If I didn't know better, I'd say that you may have fixed whatever was wrong with her."
It was poisoned. I gave it an antidote.
"Well, I'm glad to see that it is doing better. In that case, I tell you what, I do not know if the animal will make it, but seeing as you helped it, and I will make you a deal. I will keep the animal here and keep watch over it, but if you wish to purchase this animal, I will give it to you for a discount. Say 150 enamel pieces."
That sounds good to Jomo. Just don't sell it to anyone else.
"Upon my honor."
That sound good to you guys?
That sounds great.
I think that's quite a decent price.
All right. So 150 enamel pieces, and you have just got yourself a crawdling. I will also take care of the feed while she is stabled here for now. So you will not need to worry about the stabling fees at this time. And
Thank you.
Should she not make it, I will return your money.
That is very honorable of you. Surprising from a city dweller. Thank you.
Yes. Speaking of wagons, if you truly do wish a wagon, I would recommend to head to Raven's Wagon Works. He offers probably the best deals on wagons, and it's where I normally get my stock from.
Yeah, that's over there by where we're staying. Kind of.
Damn, it's stuck with died now, though. If you bought a wagon, then it died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
We'll wait until the animal's healthy to buy a wagon.
Okay.
So
So
what was it that you said, Scito, as far as the price?
it's 150 enamel pieces.
Okay, so I'll just take off 50 for mine.
Yeah, if we all take off 50, that'd be good.
Okay.
So now it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
How long do we think it'll take us just to get to the Elven Bridge?
You would say navigating the city and everything, probably around an hour.
And how
Maybe
quick-
we get there early. Make sure they don't set up any trap.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I suppose, though, I'm sure Ven would have us covered.
And also, you could try and make a history check, Corwin, to see if you can figure out any shortcuts.
Okay.
Oh god, he's gonna roll a 1 on this, and we're gonna get so lost in this heading.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you actually remember a quick way that passes by the Sandstone Inn that will get you there much quicker. So, if you want to head that way, it will instead only take you 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think I can get us to the Elven Bridge a little bit faster.
Okay.
I think possibly Neuros's colors and scents might be on the way.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we'll let Corwin lead the way.
And he does indeed. He leads you up Caravan Way, indeed passing by Nearest's Colors of Sense, taking a wrap around there, past the Sandstone Inn, until finally you enter into a much more, let's say, rowdy part of town. And eventually you come to the famous Elven Bridge, standing essentially amongst solitary in this area, a deep furrow of the earth underneath it.
Holding on extra tight to my coin purse as we enter the domain of these filthy thieving elves.
Yes,
Right.
in the distance you can indeed see the Elven Market.
Would Corwin know the climate of this elven market?
History check.
I'd say it's temperate.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would say that it's a relatively safe Elven Market to be in. I mean, it's nothing like Uruk's Elven Market, which is reputed for being incredibly dangerous, but it's also not like Nibonese, which is almost reputable, really. So, yeah, it's about middle of the road. So you would say that yes, you always have to be on the lookout for pickpockets and whatnot, but here you can be a little bit more relaxed.
I like how, the highest compliment you can pay to an elven merchant is almost reputable.
Yeah.
Nice. As far as this elven markets go, this one isn't too crazy, at least.
So it's now 4:45. You have an hour and 15 minutes to do whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna pull up, a hood on my cloak and try to kind of conceal myself, my elven ears and whatever, so that I'm not noticed as a half-elf at this time.
Okay, you can do so and make a deception check, and I believe, so make a deception check.
Yeah, I have advantage on that too.
Yeah.
From my race, although I have a really shitty deception. Let me guide myself. So 18.
Okay. I'll say, you're able to, and what you're trying to disguise, I mean, that bonus, that works for disguising yourself as an elf, not as a human, though, right?
No, it's disguising yourself as not being a half-elf.
Okay. Then which one do you want to pretend you are, an elf or a human?
Well, I don't think a half-elf can realistically pass themselves off as an elf, at least not two elves. But I think I can pass myself off as a human if I have my ears covered up.
Okay. Yeah, so you cover up yourself with a cloak, and you believe you were able to put on a fairly convincing demeanor. You know, you walk like those humans do. You tell human person jokes.
Yeah, doing the human walk.
Yeah. So you're now dressed as, you now have the appearance of a human to all but the most keen eyes. What are the others doing?
I'm going to peruse the Traveler's Guide for the entries to Venia's Vaulted Valued Pets and the Hall of Light to see what those places are about.
All right. The Hall of Light is as I told you previously, it's just off of the Elven Market, and it's owned by a man named Laurel Witch, who's actually a flame priest. And he's also said to be a psionic. And he sells basically candles, torches, lanterns, magically illuminated wands, glass orbs, all those sorts of things. As for Vinia's Valued Pets, primarily it's owned by a woman named Vinia Stone, and she sells things like furs, leathers, various types of lizards, falcon, other small animals. She'll sometimes sell mounts, but typically you have to arrange that with her.
Okay, yeah, that's just basically what I'm spending time doing, is looking up places that are nearby, learning a little bit more about the area.
All right, and Corwin, what are you doing?
Corin, I was actually thinking of the book as well in local areas, but seeing that Sinclair is using his book, Corin will kind of basically just keep an eye out.
All right. And
Yeah, I
you
think Jomo's gonna try to find a good spot to hide to watch the Elven Bridge.
okay? I guess that would be a survival check, or no, stealth. Stealth, yeah. Yeah. You're able to find basically you go to one end of the Elven Bridge and you sort of duck around the corner of it so that you can sort of just peek your head around and you sort of lean against it to make it look almost like you're part of the wall. So you're able to disguise yourself quite well. Which one of you has the book, by the way?
Sinclair does.
Okay. And so what are you guys doing? Or are you just going to wait until the...
Yeah, I'll wait until it's. I see that if I see Jomo go off to hide, I'm just gonna wait, and I'm not gonna make any special effort to hide.
Okay.
I mean, I'll stay on alert and whatnot, but
You continue to wait, and the sun slowly gets lower and lower in the sky. The crowds thin out some more. And finally, it's 6 o'clock. And for the first few minutes, there's nothing, until finally you see a figure sort of shambling towards you, wearing a set of robes. Now, you can do any of you want to do any. It's clear he or she is making their way right towards you, though.
Prior to this, have we noticed anybody around acting shady, like looking like they're getting into positions or anything like I did, basically?
Perception check. No.
at least they.
Oh my god.
Oh!
He made up for it.
Yes. So, Sinclair and Jomo, you both are filled with fear that there are enemies all around you. But Corwin, you're pretty sure there's absolutely no one around you or anything like that. So whereas Sinclair and Jomo are kind of freaking the fuck out, Corwin is cool as hell because he can tell there's not any, thus far, there doesn't appear to be any signs of a trap.
I'm actually gonna have my bow out and an arrow knocked at this point, and I'm looking for somebody to shoot. If need be. I'm not just gonna shoot somebody at random, but you know what I mean.
All right. So this shambling figure is coming up to the group. Do you guys want to do anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's scared, so Sinclair's gonna sort of throw up his hand and go, "Stop! Who goes there?"
Patience, friend. My understanding is that you have a certain good for sale.
That we might.
The stranger then takes down their hood, and Corwin, you actually recognize this person. This person is named Wakir, and she's in fact the sort of right-hand woman of Belana Wakir. Corwin, how lovely to see you again.
Ah, what a pleasant surprise. Yes, good to see you again as well. Friends, there's no reason to fear here. I know this woman quite well.
Okay, Sinclair will relax.
Alright, Jomo will come out of hiding then and
I
join the others.
I assure you, you have no need for the bow and arrow, friend.
Yeah, he'll put it up. But then
Now,
he'll put his shield on his arm, as he typically does. But he won't
Okay.
draw his weapon.
okay. Now, if we can talk business, hey, slow down there, slow down there. Another man emerges from the darkness. This one, a powerfully built man, with a bald head, also human, comes up. Well, yeah, should have known you'd be the one here. So the man sort of just comes up to you, and he's sort of like looking you over as well as Wakir.
Corwin will nod. A good day to you as well.
Thalra. My name.
I'm Corwin.
Yes. So, I assume we're all here for the same thing then, so let's get down to bone tacks, shall we?
How did you know we had this?
I was contacted by representatives they said represented you. Indeed, we also of House Wavir were given notice that certain individuals were interested in selling a tome which may exculpate the Nee family. Exculpate, that's a fine word coming from a merchant. Can't trust these houses, friends. None of them.
What that word mean?
It means to remove from blame, essentially.
Oh, right.
Anyways, I and House Wavir, in fact, would be very interested in this document that would prove that the Nee family was not responsible for the horrific events that occurred in Raha. And in fact, we would be willing to pay you 50 enamel pieces for it.
Sinclair will nod and then just kind of shift his gaze to the other guy.
Right. And here's what I'm going to offer you. I can't offer the same amount of money as these merchant types. I can only offer you 30 enamel pieces. But I can tell you this right now. If what I heard about that book is true, it can never see the light of day. You need to... I'll pay you that. But then you have to let me destroy that book.
What are you gonna do with the book? I asked the other person.
We, of course, will get the news out that the Nee family was not to blame for the horrific events at Raha. Also, everyone make a perception check.
Alright, I will. I also want to make an insight check on this merchant.
Okay. Okay, good perception. And you can do your insight. Okay. Jomo, you get the sense that she is quite earnest, but you also sense that even though she's earnest about what she's saying, there's something else behind her conviction. There's another thing you also notice. When he described destroying the book, she visibly was unsettled for a moment. You must forgive him, friends. Unfortunately, Thalra is the victim of many, many years under the cruelty of slavery in this city. Which is why I think you'd understand why that book needs to be destroyed. See, friends, I represent the freed. You may have heard of us.
Nope. Who are you?
Okay. So, Sinclair and Corwin, if you want to make a history check. Okay. Hey, you've both heard of the Freed. The Freed are essentially a faction made up of the slaves of Tyr who were freed. They're not really centralized. There's a bunch of different subgroups within them. So there's a strong chance when he says he represents the Freed, he only represents one group of the Freed. But yeah, they're all united in the fact that they were ex-slaves and they're all very, very opposed to slavery. That book needs to be destroyed. You need to understand me right here. If word got out that what happened in Raha was not the result of the Nee's cruelty, but in fact was a result of slaves, what do you think is going to happen? The city-states will use it as instant evidence that slaves are not to be trusted. There's already talk of people trying to bring slavery back to Tyr. If you gave that book out, it would destroy all that we worked for this past year. And so what? You'd simply have them destroy it and therefore forever shade the Nees as being villains, when in fact this book clearly proves that they aren't? It's unfortunate, but everyone has to make sacrifices for the cause.
Well, I, for one, didn't bring all those documents all the way up here from Raha just to have them destroyed.
That is a wise decision. You have to listen to me. You cannot give this to her. Do you know what will happen? Slaves will be hunted down the streets.
I'm gonna insight check him too.
Okay.
Hmm.
Not great, but he seems earnest. He seems extremely earnest in what he's saying.
Listen, friend, what did you say your name was?
Solra.
Faldra, one event that occurred 50 years ago is not going to reverse everything that you fought for. And it's certainly not enough to suppress the truth. All of us agreed that we would not sell this to anyone who was willing to or eager to destroy it.
Actually, I have to agree with Thara, though. Were the messages about what was going to happen to the slaves to get out, what the slaves did to got out, I do fear that it indeed would be used as such a justification. You must understand, Raha has become something of a rallying point for slaves. In the same way, if it were learned that the slaves were responsible for the abominations that occurred, it would be disastrous, which is why, to ease everyone's concerns, House Wavir will ensure that the slaves' culpability in the uprising is erased from the record. And instead, it will be blamed on Raider, which of course were very prevalent at the time in the area. But what is most important here, I believe, is that we have the reward. We reward the good actions of Zadi. She deserves it. And her voice sort of trembles as she says that. Again, there's a conviction present here that's a bit odd.
Would a history check maybe shed some light as to why?
Insight would be better for... Okay. And I'm going to say that, actually, Sinclair, because you're a Scion, you actually get a vision right now. You get a vision of a child trapped, being taken to Raha. You've heard the stories. You're terrified. You're with your sister as well. You're taken into the pens. Then the woman, the demon woman they call her, takes you down to the cells. You're so afraid. You're so afraid of what's going to happen as you're locked away. Though she didn't seem as scary as the people had told you about her. Then you remember hearing screaming, crying, death and rage outside the cell. You work with your sister to escape, using the bones of your meal to pick the lock. You flee outwards, tumbling through over bodies and blood all around you, running, looking for help. You eventually find a passing caravan and tell them your story. You tell them about the only thing that you know, that it's Zadi Nees that did this, that she was the one responsible. But something gnaws on you for years. Years pass. And then you see another face, an old face, blaming you, angry, saying that you've perverted a memory. And then you realize that you've done something horrible. You've done something wrong. You've created a grave sin. And you are filled with the need to right this sin, however possible. And then the vision ends.
Okay, so this woman, then, Sinclair will narrow his eyes at her. What does she look like as far as age?
She is, you would say she's in her late 50s.
So Sinclair will just say, "You were there."
She sort of stops and looks at you. Her eyes for a second questioning, and then she says, very quietly, "Yes."
Jomo looks so confused. He looks at Sinclair. How do you know that?
Sinclair's just gonna say in his brain, "I know things."
Oh.
I was there.
At that point, Sinclair's gonna walk up and just hand her the documents.
Thalra looks at you and he looks enraged. "What are you doing? You can't give it to her. Why are you doing this?"
Now listen here. You're really both on the same side if you think about it.
We're not both on the same side. She perverted. House Revere were perverted to their own ends. They always do.
Hold on. So you, and I'm pointing at the woman that he just handed the thing to, if you get that, you're gonna make sure the story gets spread about the women, that Zadi and her sister, and what they did, and that they weren't bad, right? So that become part of the official history, right?
I do everything in my power to right the wrong that I made so many years ago.
Okay.
I assure you
Joe
that
will not have a problem.
Look, you need to listen to me. Why are you so opposed to rewarding a woman who did such good? Look, here's the simple reality of it, alright? Okay? As great, even if it is true, and the Nees weren't the villains we've been told, the simple reality is they are so much better as something to rally around against than as heroes. Slavery is a practice which relies on quashing the emotions and motivations of the chained.
What's
There
up,
is no more
Venomage?
powerful an emotion, nor so great a motivator as simple hatred.
Still, though, you heard her that she would not say that it was the slaves that caused the revolt, but it would be raiders. That's got to count for something, right?
Alright, make a persuasion check. He sort of looks at you and he goes to speak, but his mouth sort of fine. But if this comes back, I assured you, the freed will count you as enemies of the anti-slavery movement. And he just sort of wanders away, muttering. Whereas the woman, Wakir, she has tears in her eyes right now, and she's just sort of shaking her head, going, "Thank you. Thank you."
It's I who should be sorry. If I had known your history, I would have asked for you at the Wavir Emporium instead of going through all this.
House Revere was kind enough to give me a home. I will always be grateful for them, but for so many years, I always knew there was something wrong. When we told the story, we were so sure, but then that woman came to my house one night saying that Zadi Ni had helped free her. And suddenly so many things made sense. It's suddenly what I had done. She wipes the tears from her eyes. "I want you to have this." And she pulls out a purse in addition to the one she was offering before. It appears that she has just given you 100 enamel pieces in total. "This is my own coin. I will not take no for an answer. You need to have this. I can assure you that Zadini and Kalyani will be remembered as true heroes. We will ensure that this is done. In fact, once we've ensured that the right people have seen the text to authenticate it, I'll return the book to you as a sign of good faith. And what's more, you have earned yourselves the good graces of House Wavir, which is a powerful thing to add. And Corwin, I will speak to Balana, and she will speak She sniffles a bit, and she will speak to Tabaros about your family, and we will see if anything can be done as a reward for this good deed.
My thanks. My thanks very much. I'm sure my family will be happy to know that I've done well, not in their presence.
It's never an easy choice, is it?
Never.
No. But thank you. Thank you so much for... Thank you so much for trusting me with this. You know, it's strange, isn't it? I began my day thinking that I was going to simply be doing some deals on some boy shipments, but here I am, righting a lifetime of wrongs. And meanwhile, trying to argue the finer points of what is to reward those who fight against slavery, against the safety of slaves with the next slave. And what's that for?
To see if she still sounds sincere.
He still sounds sincere to you.
But I rolled low. That means she's not sincere, guys.
Take her out.
I guess it's just another... Holy shit. It's just another day in Athos, friends.
He's giving us the Chinatown ending again.
Here. She also hands you a few more coins. This time she's given you about 8 slate pieces. Go get yourselves a drink. I need to go get this somewhere safe. Thank you.
I understand. I'd offer you to join us, but I'm sure you want to get that to a safe place.
I do.
She almost says, "You better do what you said you're gonna do."
She will. She will.
And she heads off, putting her hood back on, wandering off into the night. And you are now 100 enamel pieces richer.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and quick load and then see what would have happened if I'd given it to the ex-slave.
Nice.
Well, we already got the quest reward. Open fire. Now we can loot her too.
Well,
that seemed like a pretty good result.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it went well. And you've got, again, technically you've got 100 enamel pieces and 8 slate pieces. So if she suggested you can go get a drink if you want, or you might just want to head back to your place. So what do you want to do? I mean, Shadow Square is right nearby.
While we're inside of the Elven Market, I say we make a great show of evenly dividing all this coin amongst us.
Wait, are you serious?
Do you really want to do that?
I don't, but I actually am going to have to give the second bag of 60. I'm going to toss it to either Jomo or Knox, whoever's closer, because it puts me over
there are
carry.
2 bags of 50.
Okay, I'm going to have to give one of them away.
Okay.
Jomo will take it.
Okay.
So that's 50 EP.
Yep, 50 enamel pieces.
And she gave the 8 slate pieces directly to Corwin, right?
Yeah. And just basically, again, so, yeah, you guys can either head right back, or you can go get a drink as she suggested.
Yeah, this calls for a drink as she suggested. What did you say was close?
Shadow Square is close. Corwin, it'll say in your travel guide, it won't give you details on every single one of the shops. It'll just give you a brief overview. I mean, I don't want to give the impression that the travel guide is like an absolute be-all, end-all and will tell you all the secrets, but it will basically say that there's a few places there, and it'll list things like the Weeping Widow and the Red Tank as notable areas, including the Rat's Nest for those who are especially low on coin or just enjoy a more rowdy time.
Well,
does it say if any of those has higher quality food than the others?
That's what I was going to ask too.
Yes. One sec. Let me just.
Because we should definitely have another meal before we go back to the inn. We don't want to eat their shit.
Exactly.
I can't blame you on that one. All right, let me see here. Yeah. So the Happy Dwarf is probably the one that serves, or rather, I'm sorry, the Midnight Sands is probably the one that serves the best food. Whereas the other is there, but in terms of drinks and whatnot, the Happy Dwarf would probably be the best drinks if you're interested in that.
Sinclair would suggest the Midnight Sands, though.
Yeah.
Now, here's a
sound good.
do you guys want to go through the Elven Market, or do you want to go around the Elven Market?
Around.
Okay. Oh, wow, nice profiling of elves there, guys. You're like those people who lock their doors anytime they see an elf walking by their car.
I crossed to the other side of the street, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, God, now I'm getting flashbacks to that movie, Bright. Why did I watch that goddamn movie?
I kind of liked Bright.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, it wasn't good per se, but I still kind of liked
Yeah,
it.
there we go. There we go. Now we're going to get more truth out. You know what also wasn't good? Pacific Rim Uprising. Fuck, that movie was terrible.
Haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I had much higher hopes for that one. But then I saw Legendary Entertainment. I'm like, oh, good. The movie studio, which as of late has only put out crap. All right. So you head around the Elven Market, and you arrive in Shadow Square. Let's change the.
That doesn't sound sinister at all.
So there's various stalls and whatnot, and you want to go to the Midnight Sands, which seriously sounds like a font.
Yeah, the Midnight Sans Serif.
Font humor. Always gets me.
Oh, hey, boss.
Yeah, boss has been here for a while.
Oh, sorry, just noticed. Okay, so you arrive in the Midnight Sands, and it's if you had one word to come up to, it's atmospheric. There's these large cushioned booths, these silken curtains that flutter in the breeze, scented oil lamps, and there's some very, let's say, comely serving girls working here. It's a
What
nice
race?
Yeah.
Are they all humans?
There's humans and there's a couple of half elves.
Ew, dirty half-elf. Well, I'm already effectively engaged as I understand it, so I'm not gonna flirt with anyone.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Hello, sirs. Can I get you anything? Welcome to the Midnight Sands.
What do you have to eat?
Oh, you would be surprised. We have a lovely crawdon roast, as well as some basrog on vinegar. I might also recommend the caribou roast sticks.
I want all of that. And water, please.
Of course, of course. Please find your way to one of our booths, and we'll be with you momentarily.
So they
So-
have an open booth for us?
Yeah, there's an open booth, and
Nice.
it's very comfortable, very nice, very atmospheric.
Corin will slide into the booth and sort of lounge out and just sort of stretch and relax and kind of enjoy the the afterglow of the transactional experience.
Okay. Now, how is it that the gentleman will be paying for the food tonight?
How much does it cost?
Well, if for a standard portion of meal is 6 slate pieces. Of course, we could offer reduced portions if that would be more to your liking. Yeah, that's one thing I also. This place, the prices are supposed to be quite expensive here. We also have some more exquisite meat, which runs approximately 3 enamel pieces per portion.
I think just the 6 slate pieces kind is good for me.
Very good. And you two?
Same for me.
Okay. And can I get you anything to drink?
What might you have on tap tonight?
We have some lovely, lovely wine, actually a Balakan vintage.
Corwin will nod appreciatively.
I'll have one of those as well.
For a pitcher of that will be 424 ceramic pieces.
424 ceramic pieces.
That is a very weird and specific price.
I was thinking that. I'm like, you know.
I know, it has to do with, because I extrapolated these prices from things that are in the books, and this is where these ended up being weirdly specific. But yeah, 424 ceramic pieces. So in other words, just over 4 enamel pieces.
How much for water?
For water, that's only 2 ceramic pieces for a gallon.
Okay, good.
All right. So do you just want water then?
Yeah, I want water, but I want all 3 kinds of meat. So I'm paying 6 slate per dish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paying 1.8 enamel then, plus 2
Total slate
CP for
pieces,
water.
in other words. Okay.
18 you said, right? Plus the 2
Yes.
slate for the water. Okay.
Plus, no, 2 ceramic pieces for the water.
All right.
We also have a less discriminating Tyrian vintage that's only 20 ceramic pieces for a pitcher.
I like to support local businesses whenever possible, so I will stick with the Tyrian vintage.
That is the calling card of a cheap ass right there. Oh, look, I'm not cheap. I'm just supporting my local businesses here.
I'm gonna round mine up to 2 whole EP. The rest is for her.
Thank you, sir. And she goes off and gets you your water and everything. So Corwin, what are you ordering?
Corwin will have the Crodlu, and he'll also have, well, he'll actually have the Balakan wine. Sort of a testament to a little bit of homesickness, shall we say.
Okay. So do you want a whole gallon of that, or if you just want a cup of it, you can also do that.
No, she said a pitcher. I think a pitcher will do fine.
Okay, so that's 424 ceramic pieces. So, yeah. And so.
Okay. Yep, I'm taking that off.
Okay, so. And you've already taken off your money, Tim?
No, not yet. So 20 ceramic for the wine, and then I'll do the same thing that Jomo did with the meat.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, all right. Then take the money off for that.
Meat lovers platter.
And so you're waiting around for about 20 minutes, and find the wine is brought to you, though, quickly. And then the food is brought to you, and it smells mouth-watering. And Corwin, your wine, it smells delicious. Like it even the smell of it has a certain level of fillingness to it that you expect from these finer vintages.
I don't think I could brew better myself.
Jomo thinks of something as the waiter is still there, or waitress, the server nonetheless. You got milk?
Yes, we have some goat's milk as well as Caru milk. Which would you like?
A glass of Caro milk. Don't need a whole pitcher, just a glass.
Very well. I will go get that for you. Let me
Thank you.
calculate. Let me calculate how much a glass of Caru milk would be. Well, it'd be a mug of Caru milk, but
Yeah, mug is fine.
Okay, so that's Caru milk, which is cheaper than goat's milk.
Milk. Yay, now we're drinking milk in Dark Sun.
Yay.
All right, so that's gonna run you at about 4 ceramic pieces.
I'll round it up to 5.
Okay, 5 ceramic pieces then. Apparently, Jomo's not good at math, which isn't surprising.
Wait, didn't you just say it was 4 ceramic?
Yeah, but why would you round? That doesn't really. If it was like 4.25 or something, then you'd round it up. But that's a whole.
No, I mean I'm giving a tip.
Okay.
I'm giving the other ceramic pieces for the tip.
Okay. You do realize that the economics of food places in this world are not quite like the real world. Oh, then again, I guess I'm going to become like Steve Buscemi in Reservoir Dogs. Remember how he's trying to convince the others not to tip?
Oh yeah. Well, we're adventurers. We're flush with cash.
You are pretty flush with cash. This is a
we-
big change from the beginning of this adventure.
We're Crodlu owners.
Yeah. Well, as long as it doesn't die.
We could be dead, Crodlu. Hey, there's still some good meat there.
All right. So yeah, you're all having a great time. Jomo, make a perception check.
Uh-oh. That's never good. Oh, fuck me.
Never mind.
Nothing horrible happens?
Nothing horrible happens.
Okay.
You think you hear the glass of Caru milk mooing at you.
I would
So-
drink it anyway. Value
Yeah.
add.
So yeah, you finish your meal, and it is wonderful. You have, if the meal you had basically what was your lunch earlier today. Again, you've eaten far more than your ration, so actually now you're all.
Are you talking?
Oh, I'm just updating your status sheets. You guys are in some good shape right now, and
Yeah, we ate and drank quite a bit today.
yeah, and it's some good quality stuff as well. So yeah, you guys are in great shape. And yeah, it is. If the meal today was the best one you had in a while, this is legitimately, even for a normal day of your lives, before all this happened, would have been an incredibly good meal.
This could potentially be the best meal Jomo's ever had, because he's never really eaten restaurant food before.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it. It's great.
I doubt that it's fresh from cow to table. Not our boss.
Alas, there is no cows. There's carus, and really the milk they produce is more akin to yak milk. And then you have goats, and they produce their own milk. Yeah, caru is like the lower tier meat. It's like one of the cheaper meats in Athos. You know? It's not enlightened like cow, but of course one would never make meat from a cow because that would be horrific.
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd
Isn't-
be like selling human child meat.
Yeah.
People would really complain.
Anyways, so yeah, you enjoy your meal and it's delicious and you finish it without issue. It is now about 8 o'clock at night. You're all feeling a little bit, except for Jomo because he didn't drink any alcohol. But Sinclair and Corwin, you're feeling a little bit tipsy, having drank an entire goddamn gallon of wine each.
I'm sure Corey's
Nice.
been through worse.
So actually, both of you, for now, are going to have a little bit of a penalty to your dexterity and wisdom. Specifically, you're going to have a -1 to each of those just temporarily.
Small price to pay.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm
Sure.
the designated driver.
And you wander outside of the... I'm guessing you're leaving now?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably hang out for a while and relax and take our time, you know, just enjoying the fact that we're in a safe, quote unquote, and comfortable place.
Okay. Jomo, make another perception. Actually, you can all make another perception one, but Jomo in particular want to make this perception check.
That's
Okay.
a 21.
So, Sinclair, you notice that the waitress, and this is something you actually noticed with the last one, the waitress who served the second batch when Jomo asked for the milk was not the same waitress as before. And you actually notice that same waitress is now talking with a very ragged-looking elf by the front door, who every so often it keeps looking back at your table.
Oh, God. So his eyes are going to snap to Jomo's mug. Has he drunk any of the milk?
Oh, he finished it.
So he'd be looking at Jomo very concerned and say, Jomo, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
You feel fine. You
I
feel like you
fine.
the best meal that you've had in maybe your entire life.
Jomo good.
Okay, Jomo, when I say this, it's very important that you don't just turn and look at what I'm about to tell you. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay, so just behind you and off to the left, the waitress that bought you that milk is talking to an elf. She's not the same waitress that served us first.
Don't waitresses talk to many different tables? Is that weird?
I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about the elf she's talking to.
Well, that's probably a good idea. Can't trust elves.
So Jomo, do you want to try and take a look?
No.
Okay. So Sinclair, you see the elf just sort of look at you, and then he sort of smirks and walks out.
Okay. Yeah, at that point, Sinclair is going to kind of say, wait here just a second, and hop up and kind of hurry to the door, stick his head out and see if he can't see where that elf is heading.
You can't see the elf anywhere, but make a perception check. Okay.
Good one.
You hear someone murmuring, and you catch one word, Miri.
Do I recognize that word?
You don't recognize it, but that's one word you do pick out. Miri.
Shit. Hold on, he has heard that name before.
No,
If-
Sinclair, though. Sinclair hasn't heard the name, has he?
Yeah, because when we met with what's-her-name,
Oh, okay, you did. Okay.
I did.
Yeah,
I
then you-
specifically said that Miri was my teacher.
Then yes, that it sticks out to you for that reason. Specifically, Miri, as in Miri Firebow, is the name that immediately springs to mind. Then.
And can I tell where this is coming from?
It seems to be coming from around the corner. You don't have an exact position. You just caught that word, though. But you're immediately filled with a sense that you might want to get out of there.
Yeah. So I'm going to head back to the table. Start gathering up my stuff and just look at Jomo and say, there are some people out there. I didn't see the elf, but I assume it was one of them. They mentioned the name of your teacher.
He said, Miri Firebow?
I caught the name Miri, yeah.
This not good. We should go. Right now.
Okay. So you guys leave. You guys exit. And as you leave and enter out into the square, you hear...
Is there a back exit?
Yes, there is. Actually, if you can take the back exit if you wish.
I think
Right.
that'd be better, don't you guys think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you take the back exit out, and you're heading into these alleyways. You're by what you think is a gambling hall. You can hear noise in there. And then you can hear a whistling noise. And it's a whistle that you recognize very well, Jomo. It's a whistle that often precipitated a raid.
Great.
You recognize it because it sounds like something made by a member of the Silt Stalkers tribe.
I say, we in danger. Get ready to fight. They're gonna attack us.
Jomo! A man, an elf, walks out, and you recognize this man as a member of the Silt Stalkers. Specifically, his name is Nuko Fire Dagger.
Okay.
And he's sort of eyeing you. Well. Who would have thought we'd find you here, this Udran Igoti, huh?
What the hell are Silt Stalker doing in Tyr, this far away from your territory?
You see, Lubara, she has some ideas moving forward, but when we saw you walking into Shadow Square, well, we thought we had to intervene. I mean, really, how could we not provide with such an opportunity to deal with one of Miri's whores?
I left. No longer part of tribe drama.
And yet you still bear the Firebow name. You are not worthy of it, Kudato. You are not worthy of the Firebow name, and you are not worthy of any association with the Siltstones.
Fine.
This guy needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, here we go. Tim's pulling some of his crazy shit.
Okay.
Not insult my buddy like that. I don't even speak that language, and I know he's being an ass.
Oh yeah, what language are we speaking? Elven or Common?
Elven.
Okay.
I speak that.
Oh, critical failure. So he suddenly crumples to the ground, just screaming, Bashad, Oh, 2 damage, not great, but, oh wait.
Big damages.
And he sort of looks back up at you, his nose bleeding. These Dato with you? Well, it doesn't matter now, Jomo. You're finished. Did you enjoy your drink?
Jomo enjoyed drink, yes.
Good. Because you're not going to be enjoying it much longer. And Jomo, you've been aware of this for some time now, but now it's becoming much more apparent. You're feeling increasingly uncoordinated.
Okay, that's not great. Because I didn't drink anything intoxicating. So now, if I use something like detect poison and disease, does that give me some kind of insight into what kind of poison it is?
Sure. I'll say that, yes, you can try and do that.
Like in coordination, that spell in coordination with a medicine check, could I try to assess how I've been poisoned and then try to use my herbalism kit to cure myself or something?
Sure.
I mean,
But
obviously I can't do all that right in this moment, but
before you do that, he says, enjoy your death, Jomo. It's far more than you deserve. And he immediately darts off.
motherfucker. Silt stalkers are all assholes.
Yeah, they kind of are. So, Jomo, you can now try. You're now beginning to feel intense pain that seems to actually be radiating outwards from you. It's almost like the pain is moving through your fingertips, like on your extremities. So
Jomo
yeah,
not feeling good.
Now might be the time to do so.
All right. So it doesn't seem like there's anybody else like coming to attack us or anything, right?
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try detect poison and disease first.
Okay.
Is there anyone else out and around this area?
No, it's abandoned. Other than the sounds of people in the buildings nearby.
And so what does that tell me?
All right. And are you going to try it with a medicine check?
Yeah, I'll try it with a medicine check. I'll do guidance right before that as well.
Not bad. Okay. Jomo, in combination with magic, you believe that you've been poisoned with an incredibly in fact, it's one of the most deadly poisons known to the Silt Stalkers, called Spirit Cleave.
It's not good.
Yeah. And in fact, Jomo, you're able, you can tell them if you want what it is that's poisoned you.
Yeah, I'll tell them.
Okay.
Do I think there's any chance I could use my herbalism kit to counter it?
Well, you might be able to. Unfortunately, you're right now prone, and I'm going to need you to start making some death saving throws. So he's just told you what he's been poisoned with.
What is that, a constitution save?
No, this time you're just death saving throws.
That's just a straight D20 then, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jomo, he's lying on the ground. He's beginning to cough up small amounts of this black bile, and in the middle of this alleyway, and he's just said the word Spirit Cleave to you. And so you guys are watching him as he's on the ground. So Jomo, make your first death saving throw.
All right, this says deception, but it's just a D20 plus 0.
Okay, and that makes it, right?
Yeah. 10 or higher is what you need.
So you've succeeded on your first one. So what are you two doing?
Sinclair's going to kind of look at Corwin and go, what passes for a healer in this town?
Corwin, make a history check.
A healer.
Didn't you guys remember? You guys know about the House of Light, and that's pretty close by. You know that's run by a cleric. He told us that.
Well,
Oh,
nice
I thought he said it was a
metagaming
Psylocke.
there, Jomo.
What?
Nice metagaming there.
That's not metagaming. It's information you already told us.
It's fine. No, I'm joking.
I'm imagining he would be conscious enough to kind of spit that out still. Is he
No,
conscious?
he's starting to shiver. He's become pale. It looks a bit like, remember in The Witcher when you drank too many potions and your toxicity gets up? You're starting to look like that.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, then Sinclair's going to,
You know what? I think we're going to go straight to... All right, so... Or actually, you know what? Maybe just battle music is better for this. So... What are you guys doing?
grabbing Jomo and dragging him towards this House of Light.
Okay, I'm going to need to see some strength checks here. So athletics, I guess?
Damn it, why couldn't you be lighter? I could just lifted you with my telekinesis.
Jomo weighs 165 pounds.
Can
And
I use some inspiration, even if it isn't critical?
If it's... Yeah, you can use inspiration and reroll. I'll let you do that. Because this is kind of an important one. So 5, and Jomo's used 1, so 5. Okay, yep. So, Corwin, you sort of drop his feet a bit, but Sinclair, you're able to start dragging him as quickly as you can towards the Hall of Light. Make another death saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I capable of taking actions?
No.
Okay.
And here's the thing, though, as well. I should also note, you're not going to stabilize at 3 saves.
Right, I figured that.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I figured that.
So I'm going to need to see some more strength saving, some strength checks here. Or athletics, right? Oh, well, that's not good. Oh!
Wow, guys.
Yeah.
Does Corbin know anything about this spirit cleave or anything like that?
That would be, I guess, what would it be? A nature check, I guess? Or medicine check.
Medicine. All right. Yeah.
You know absolutely nothing. In fact, the only thing that you can think of is that you might try licking Jomo, and that might make him feel better. You don't know why, but you think that might help.
If we could somehow get him into Sind and put him in that latrine, he would surely be so much better.
Yeah, but so you basically, Sinclair, yeah, you unfortunately don't know anything about Spirit Cleave either. It's not it's not a well-known toxin, but you guys are carrying along, but you just drop him, and you're in your panic and trying to get him there. Another
How far away is this House of Light?
Well, you were right behind here, so let me see. Sorry, just having to check right here how far it is till Josiah dies. 14.
Yeah, this is the end of chapter 1, you guys. Chapter 1 was just the chapter when Jomo was alive, and then it goes on from there.
Okay, so it's 100 feet to the Hall of Light, not counting having to go through alleyways, so closer to 450 feet. So that's
Hey,
saving
Spider,
throw.
good to see you. Hold on, I'm having weird computer problems. Okay, death saving throw. Oh, I'm making them.
You're getting lucky here. All right, so you two, strength check. You keep trying. Oh my God, what is with your strength, you guys?
I'm gonna keep burning inspiration.
Okay, burn that inspiration. You can re-roll because the 10 will not be enough. No!
Wow. Wow.
So
Holy shit.
Corbin's gonna look between
okay,
us.
well, first let me just say what happened. So, Sinclair, you try and pick Jomo up, but you just completely flop, and you instead drop him, and his head cracks against the ground. So, Jomo, you're going to take 6 points of
Nice.
damage.
Thanks for that.
Does that count as a death saving throw fail, or because he still has
I'm
hit points?
saying no. I'm not going to be that cruel. I'm going to say no. It does not count as a fail for this one. But Corwin, you still have to make your strength check.
Corbin's going to look between Sinclair and down the street and such, and kind of consider to himself and say, Sinclair, I don't think that moving him is really going to work like this. I think one of us has got to run to the House of Light here. I'm gonna go make a break for it if you think that's right.
Yeah, go. I'll keep trying to get up
Corwin
there.
is going to activate stampede mode.
Okay.
Is that
All
a
right.
thing?
No, but he's dashing, I imagine.
Yeah, he's going to dash down the street.
Yeah,
Merry dash.
So let's take a look at traveling on foot and see how fast you're traveling there. Okay. So fast run. So
I
that's your
feel like
movement.
he needs a thing called stampede mode.
He can call it stampede mode in his heart. All right. So 1 sec. Okay, yeah, you'll be able to get there in a minute. So, you take off running towards the.
Yep.
Towards the House of Light. House of Light, House of Hall of Light. It's a hall and it's of light. So, death saving throw.
Wasn't the best cover.
No, it wasn't. Hey, yeah, that is a good example of memory, though.
Like I would ever forget the Chapel of Light song.
Yeah. All right, death saving throw. Let's go.
Oh, shit, that's me. I thought... Okay, yeah. Oh, no!
First failure. Jomo, it's actually, let's Jomo, what you feel like right now is like you are floating in a void as life is being torn from you. It feels like you're almost like, you've never been in a body of water or anything, but that's what it would, if you had, it's one of those cases where, again, it's like almost being in the womb, and as you're floating downwards and downwards into this darkness, it's as if pieces of you are falling off. So, strength check, Sinclair.
No, I assume there are other people around.
There's some other people, but they're mostly getting out of your way. You might have not noticed, but Athos, not a great place for Samaritans.
Yeah, but a great place for a mercenary. So he's just going to yell, "Who wants to earn 10 enamel pieces?"
Okay. I'm gonna need you to make a persuasion check because, again, you could be doing something tricky. So
That's a shitload of money.
yeah, it is, but unfortunately, that people are very wary of this. They see a half elf getting pulled down the street, they're sort of steering clear. They're not wanting to get involved in this. Especially not since you're now moving through the elven parts of town, so, you know. So, make a strength check. Wow. If you want to burn inspiration again, you can do so.
I'm afraid to. But yeah.
Okay. Not much better, though. So, you're able to sort of just keep him private, but you're not able to get him too far. Corwin, you're still running through the streets as fast as you can. You're now about halfway there to the Hall of Light. Another death saving throw. Okay, you made that one. Strength check, Sinclair.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat the same thing in Elven, but I'll keep trying to pull him.
Okay, well that's all right. This time you're able to get more purchasing. You sort of sling him over your knee as you sort of like hobble forward, running as fast as you can to try and drag him through. Corwin, you reach the outside of this building, this small shanty that is the Hall of Light.
All right, Corwin's just going to essentially fling the door open and get himself inside.
All right, you do so, and then this man who's just sort of singing, what's happening? What is this? What do you want?
Good day. I hear you're a cleric. You've got to come with me right now.
Why? What's happening?
Our friend, Spirit Cleave, affected with Spirit Cleave.
All right, I'm gonna need you to make a persuasion check. Oh, good. Okay.
Good job.
So he looks at you and he says, all right. Just quickly, get out there. I'll move now." And he he pushes you out as he closes the door and locks it. Where do we need to go?
This way, yes. Please hurry, thank you. And
Right.
It's now an
Corwin's already
escort
bolting.
quest, so you know this guy's gonna walk hella slow.
All right. So, Jomo, another death saving throw.
Made it.
Okay, you made it. Sinclair, strength check. Well, do you want to burn another inspiration or?
Yeah, because he doesn't know where Corwin is, so yeah.
Can I burn one of my points of inspiration for him?
Yeah, you can give a person your inspiration.
Alright, let's use up one of my points then.
Okay. So that means that Sinclair, you're at 4, and Jomo, you're at
4.
4. Yeah, 4.
I'm at 3 now because I've used 4. No, I've used 3 so far. So
All right. Corwin, you're dashing through. This guy, he is a bit older though, so he's not able to move quite as fast as you are, but you're still getting your pace on. You're just, again, your heart's pounding. You know that your friend's life is hanging on by a thread. Jomo, death saving throw.
Okay. No, I failed too.
Okay, that's 2 down. Jomo, you are feeling yourself fall deeper and deeper into the darkness. Less and less of you remains. Sinclair, strength check. Do you want to burn that point of
yep.
Okay. And Jomo, are you going to give him one of yours, or are you going to...
Save
I feel
yours.
like I should save mine for my death throws.
Okay. Down to 2. You're able to get him close enough, and then you can see off in the distance, you can see Corwin running towards you with this older priest in tow.
Okay, yeah, at that point he's just going to kind of set him down and start and wave to make sure Corwin sees him.
Okay. Corwin, you see him, no problem. What's going on? What's happening?
Over here, he's right over here.
Okay. So he runs over, he takes a look. What happened? What happened to him?
Spirit Cleave. About 10, 20 minutes ago.
Oh dear. All right. He begins trying to do a ritual, just sort of check. Yes, this is indeed Spirit Cleave. Okay, Jomo, death saving throw.
No!
You can re-roll if you use a point of inspiration.
Okay, I will.
Well,
That's still bad.
yeah.
Could
No.
he use another point of inspiration to get advantage on that?
I don't know. You can't. I mean, I'm not. I feel like it should only be 1 point per thing, but
No, I agree. It should only be 1 point per thing.
no, I'm losing him. No, Jomo, you feel yourself settling into darkness. You feel everything fading away. It's like you're the smallest point of yourself. All of it stripped away and it's floating to the darkness. But then, out in the corners of your vision, you can hear something, almost like a humming, as a small crackling light that seems to change into a myriad colors rushes through. And as it rushes by you, it passes through this trail of almost like blood that you left behind, and it becomes caught in it. As it does so, it takes form from it. It takes shape, and slowly you see a figure emerge from it. The form appears vaguely female. As it then settles down upon you, you see this. As
Okay.
it looks at you, and slowly it pushes all this red back inside of you. And Jomo, you begin to feel yourself rising back to the surface, propelled by this thing which is pulling you. Sinclair,
That's weird.
to what you've seen is that Jomo has stopped breathing for some time now. The priest is looking up at you. I'm sorry. There's nothing I could do. He's dead.
He's just gonna stare down at him in sort of stunned silence for a few seconds.
There's always something that can be done.
You're like, who's gonna carry the tent now?
I'm sorry. There's nothing that can be done. Spirit Cleave it's a horrific poison. I'm so sorry, my child. Here, help me bring him to my shop. We'll bring him in. And so he'll, and you don't have to make, since you're not hurrying, you don't have to make any strength saving throws. You can carry him back to the shop if you so wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we do so, Corin will wonder to himself if there's anything he could do with his arcane abilities to kind of put him in a sort of suspended animation or anything like that.
Based on what he said, Jomo's dead. So the suspended animation would be he'd be suspended in a state of death.
I kind of figured that, but I figured I had to ask.
Anyways, so you bring him back into this pre-shop, and he sort of clears the table. I'm so sorry about this, my friends. I did not know the man, but Spirit Cleave is a horrific poison. There is, aside from having the antidote in hand or being a powerful cleric, there is few ways to treat it. And he sort of goes over to the table where you're on, which has a few candles which he had lit from before, and snuffs them out one by one. Go now, young child, the grave. Rest, shall you. And he begins to walk away. Jomo, you on the other hand, though, still feel, again, like you're surfacing, being pulled up. And Sinclair and Corwin, you suddenly notice that one of the candles relights itself around his corpse.
I'm gonna just stare at that, blink.
Either of you do that?
No.
Suddenly, another one of the candles relights itself. The flame is strange. It burns strangely. It almost seems to shimmer with multiple colors. Another one flickers on. And another, and suddenly all of the candles in the room are beginning to show this exact same strange coloration. You begin to feel a strange whirling about your feet, as if the air has been disturbed.
Sinclair's gonna just step back and just look around for the cleric to see if he's doing something or what's going on.
The cleric, he's just sort of staring in shocked silence. He has no idea what's going on. And Jomo, you feel yourself being pulled close to the surface, and there, you break it at long last. And as you do, your eyes shoot open as you're brought back in this world, and you can see this force as if it came right out of you, pulling you to the surface. And the others, you can see it too for a second, as suddenly it fades and disappears, and all the candles suddenly go back to their normal flickering. And Jomo, you all of a sudden are breathing hard, alive.
I just look around like I don't know where the fuck I am and what just happened, so Jomo's kind of just trying to get his bearings.
Corwin's gonna nod slowly and just start to clap and look at the cleric and go, "Ah, you fooled me on that one. I think now that was a performance, all right. You knew all along. Well done. I thank you."
The cleric is just sort of staring, mouth agape. What? I didn't. How did you. Child, how did you come back? I did not even. He's just mumbling and he's just sort of looking around. Fire. Prismatic. Didn't. I never believed. I. And he just sort of. He sort of starts trembling. His legs start trembling as he sort of topples over and faints.
He literally passes out?
Yep.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna try to sit up. Can I sit up? Do I feel like I can move normally?
You still feel very weak. You try, but you just sort of backs down against the table. And then you notice as well, you feel a pain as if you had just been dropped on your head.
So
How many hit points do I have? 1?
Yes.
So the cleric fainted and no one else is in the shop besides the three of us.
Yep.
Corwin will take this moment. How many of us?
Well, you did see that figure for a second, though.
We all saw the figure?
You all saw the figure. It's as if she was pulling something up into Jomo's body as she emerged from him, and then all of a sudden just vanished back into Jomo.
Any kind of arcana or anything that might give us insight as to what happened?
For you, it would be an insight check. For Corwin, it would be an arcana check.
What about me?
Yeah.
Could I make a check?
You're still groggy as all hell. Well, Corwin?
Corwin would also be casting Detect Magic with this.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say that, in fact, I'm going to bunch this. You attempted to cast Detect Magic, and it utterly fails. And instead, what happens is all you're able to do is just sort of scatter your cards all across the ground, and including have some of them land on Jomo. You bury Jomo in another thing again, this time in cards.
Corwin's going to rub his temples and telekinetically grasp each of his cards and put it back in the deck, and just shake his head.
What's going on?
Is that you, Jomo?
Jomo thinks so.
There was a strange figure that kind of went back into you for a moment. This cleric seemed like told us you were dead, and well, I'm not quite sure if this was all his doing or not, or what. I thought it was, but the way he's kind of fainted makes me think otherwise.
You saw the colorful, glowing woman?
Yeah, for just a moment. And then at mention of the cleric, Sinclair's going to walk over and make sure he didn't break his neck when he fell.
Okay. Yeah, he's fine. He's passed out from shock.
I guess I almost died. But I don't feel like I'm poisoned anymore.
Yeah. Other than general weakness and fatigue, you don't feel any of these symptoms of the spirit cleave anymore. But you also don't feel the exact same. It almost feels like part of you was stripped away and then reforged. You feel different in a way that you're not quite able to enunciate right now.
Jomo feel really weird.
Well, I'd be surprised if you felt if you were to feel normal after all of this.
Well, I'm gonna attempt to cast Cure Wounds on myself and see if that helps.
Okay. I would say that you try, but you're still not quite able to muster the strength right now. You are incredibly weak. Really, what you need right now is to get some rest.
Okay. Jomo feel like he been running up a mountain all day.
You think you can walk?
Don't even think I can get up.
I'll just lay back and rest. We've got to watch over this cleric until he comes back.
Where are we?
We're at the...
The House of Light.
Hall of Light.
The Hall of Light.
The Chapel of Light. They're getting ready to eat me.
Pretty much.
Oh. There's a fire cleric here, right?
Yeah, that's him on the ground right there.
I kind of try to look and see if I can see him.
You can. He's passed out on the ground.
Why he's sleeping?
After he saw what happened, he passed out.
Did he
It
cure
seemed-
me?
I don't think so, but I think he recognized what did.
Hmm. Well, I'm just gonna lay there and rest.
Okay. All right. What are you two going to do then?
Well, I'll grab the keys off the cleric and go lock up the
All right.
shop.
I'll say that you also think that this shop probably serves as the guy's house. So there's some stairs leading up if you want to take a look upstairs.
Oh yeah, while he's passed out, we might as well loot the fuck out of this.
Oh yeah, time to steal everything that's not nailed down.
Taking advantage of priests. Yeah.
Taking every one of your plates, spoons, knives, tin cans.
Your powdered amethyst dust, which for some reason is in half your containers.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to take a look around?
Yeah, Corin would take a look around.
Okay. You do so, and it appears then there's a small bedroom upstairs with a single bed. So there's that. Other than that, there's just a couple of... there's a barrel of water here as well. Small barrel. And some dried food. Other than that, just plenty of equipment for making wax and some tinkering tools for making lanterns and stuff like that. And just all across the shop are just, all the lights are still going, all these candles, just dancing. Jomo, I imagine you're going to sleep about now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, you're not quite able to get into a full rest, like fully fall asleep and pass out. No stray buttons on the floor, Knox, no. But seeing all these candles lit around you and dancing, it's incredibly comforting in a way that only you as a fire cleric could truly appreciate.
Yeah, I like this place.
So, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'll just try and make both Jomo and the cleric as comfortable as possible, and just...
Are you going to leave the cleric on the ground or what?
No, I mean, I'm not. Given my magnificent display of strength earlier, I'm not going to try and take him up to his bed.
Before you were
Please take him up the stairs, because that way he'll die, and we can take this place over.
Before you were rushing to take him here, I would say you could take him out up the stairs. You could take him up the stairs without needing to make any checks if you had Corwin's help.
Okay, yeah, I will then call to Corwin to come help and take him up to his bed.
Okay. You do so without incident. And he's just sort of... You make an insight check, Sinclair. All right, you can sense that this guy... First off, you can tell that he is very clearly psionically active, very powerfully so, but also that he has been frayed. Something about what he saw has caused his mind to just, for a moment, completely shatter. Although you don't think lasting harm has been done, you can still feel like bolts almost radiating out from him. It's very disconcerting. You too, when you saw that event, felt this a bit. In fact, Corwin, you as well also felt a strange energy. There was something about what you witnessed that was very peculiar, if that wasn't already obvious.
A strange energy in terms of the arcane, or...
You would have felt a strong presence of essence. And
The fuck
for
is
you...
essence?
Oh, essence as in what the arcane spellcasters draw upon.
Oh, right, okay.
And Sinclair, you would have also felt like a strong burst of thought, of energy like that. That also would have been a bit disorienting to you.
Okay.
So, what are you two doing now? I mean, it is pretty late, so it's right now about... Yeah, I'd say it's right now about 10 o'clock at night, or yeah.
Yeah, just find a corner of the place to set up a bedroll and call it a night.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, now that Corwin can't go to sleep in the nice comfy bed since it's been taken up by the cleric again.
No. Damn clerics.
Would Corwin get the sense that the candles should be extinguished at night, or would he get the sense that they would still burn?
Seems to still be awake somewhat, and he seems to be enjoying the candlelight, so...
So he doesn't get the sense that everything's going to burn
No.
overnight.
No. You...
That was an accident.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, as while this cleric is down, I'm gonna try and take him out.
Nice.
So, you two rest. Sinclair, though, your dreams are troubled. Very troubled indeed.
Okay.
You feel yourself suddenly gripped by coldness as you fade away from the warmth of the Hall of Light. And then you see yourself alone on the sands again. It's night now. Unlike a typical Aphasia night, there's only one moon off in the distance, and you're following a figure. Around you, wisps of what you think are snow. Even though you've never actually felt it, you've heard of it, blow about you as you follow a figure endlessly through the desert. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and call out to the figure.
You call out, and it's as if your voice is moving through water as it does so, muffled strangely against this blowing wind. The figure simply looks up at the moon and goes, in a voice that's distorted as well, "It is coming. It has waited so long, and now it is coming. It will devour you. It will devour this world." And then you feel as if the sands themselves are parting and you're falling deeper and deeper into them. as your thoughts fade into oblivion. Corwin, you too are troubled by a night's rest. But your dreams, instead, are feel much more like a memory. You see
Okay.
yourself in the middle of a square. It looks like the slave pens. You see men dressed in metal armor that looks familiar, like the same metal armor whose remnants you saw of those people around you. And you see one of them looking at you. And he says, "Good to see that's been dealt with. Let's get moving." And then looking down, you see a dead body pierced through by a spear. A dead body whose face you recognize as Rickus. And then you raise your hands. And they're covered in blood. As you stand there over the dead body on this night. And slowly, your thoughts fade to oblivion. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first episode of this campaign.
We made it through unscathed, guys.
Wow.
Unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was certainly couldn't be accused of being a short episode.
No, I'm not much for those short old things right there, you know.
This is like when they do a show and like the pilot is like 2 hours long or whatever.
Kinda like that, yeah. Looking for my exit music, but I cannot seem to find it here. Oh, there it is. There we go. Extra music. So yeah. Now, things have changed big time for you guys because first off, you've gained another 150 experience points, which means that you now all have leveled up. You are now level 2 in both your classes, but that is not all that has changed. I will be sending each of you a list because you have also passed your Animus requirements. And so those bonuses will have been updated as well. Jomo will have had some significant changes happen to him, in particular. But we will deal with that in the thing. So, Josiah, if you want to end this session, or this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Dungeons and Dragons, the Shattered Crown campaign with DM Scito, along with Nox and Tim. See you next time.